I was doing my dream series on dreams when you sleep, not like dreams of aspirations. I'm saying when your body is resting in your subconscious. It's too bad that the English language is so confused. I hate to even use it, but I have to. It's the Pax Romana of our day. Dreams are fascinating, and I believe it warrants a lot more study if our civilization is going to advance and evolve. Basically, it was almost 2 weeks ago that I started to ponder my dreams, just become aware of them more, reflect on them. It's good to save some time in the morning to do that, even if it's just 5 minutes before you get up and go. You just sit there, meditate, and see what you can remember. And then from those symbols, you try to interpret it, because my theory is that everything is symbolic in the dreams, but there may be times when it's not symbolic, when it's how should I say, esoteric knowledge, or mystical communications from a higher realm. And it's hard to know which is which, but I'm going to give you an example right now, because last night I had 2 dreams. I got up at 2:20 a.m., which was like in the middle of my sleep, and I had to do something. I went for a walk, and then I was reflecting on my dreams, and I recorded this. So before I play it, though, I'm going to tell you, I went to sleep again by after 3 a.m. Actually, no, that's not true. I got waken up at 4 a.m. by explosions and gunshots. And then I did a video. And I'll show you that video too. But by the time I did get to sleep for the second session, I had more of the same dream. Not the mystical side of it, but the personal relationship side of it. So I don't know why I kept dreaming about my second wife. Well, I call her my second wife, but I had other relationships in the middle of that. But in any case, she was the one that gave me my first child, or we shared bringing a child into the world. It was both of our first child. Here's where I said the first dream. I got up at about 2:20 a.m. because baby Zen was moving around, and I had to take care of him. And there was something that was pre-drawn, and I saw it, and I started to fill that in, one of the planets. Like it was done for me, and I knew what it was. And then it turned to like a 3-dimensional model of something I was looking into. So it was basically about the planets. I was shown something about the solar system. Now, if that's symbolic, I don't know. But it started out with a drawing. I was drawing something after I was, dealing with this relationship, and like in my mind, the relationship thing is just probably filling in the blanks, because our relationship went off the tracks, and she disappeared for a long time. It's one of the strangest episodes of my life. But what happened was, I started drawing, and I first thought of Pluto, and then I did a satellite around it. Its satellite is called Charon, I think. I think it is. I think that I'll have to look it up again. But I start to illustrate this, and I wrote the word vertically, Charon, and I started to like illustrate it like in an artistic way, because it was just like this big canvas or poster, just big. And I started to do this, and then there was this larger planet, like it was the whole solar system, and it wasn't necessarily solid. It was like energy fields, I think. Now, and reflecting on it, it's just this big zone, and then I started to do planets like around it, like in one orbit, or maybe just doing that for the illustration. And I think this is somehow tied in with the comet, or me thinking about the comet. Here's me when I couldn't get to sleep again. Sirens, possibly, but anyhow, yeah, so there was a three-dimensional model of other beings, and they were like made out of fire, or they have fire coming out of them. I couldn't see what was in them, but they have like very narrow and vertical, but I could see them around the planet. And the very large ones were like a different species, and they were ancient. I related them to archangels, and then there was like the smaller ones, there was a lot of them, and then there was a whole scale key, like a key explaining it, and it showed that they were in some 4 or 5 feet, and they had a name, and it showed how they were illustrated in this scale key. And then the other ones, and I think that they were like 65 feet, or it seemed like some of them were like close to, I don't want to say a mile, but it's possible that they were quite large and tall. The length of these flames, I want to call them spires, like fiery spires. And this is all like illustrated for me as like it came up as part of my art that I was doing. Now, I don't know if it says saying that they were on Pluto, or they were on the satellite Charon, or whether they were on the sun, or whether they have something to do with the comet, or maybe the comet is coming from Pluto. I don't know. And so, like, these are flaming flames of beings of another type, and I don't know what's inside of them, but they have this field of energy coming up and out of them. So this is very mysterious, because like I said, I could tie it in with the comet, because I've been wondering about the comet, and I'm wondering about other life in the universe, and these could be angels. I've met people who are able to get a lot of information about the angels. They have mystical processes that they go through, and I know the guy who's seen one of the archangels of the sun, and I don't know whether to believe it, but this guy is, the way he's explaining it is very meticulous. He's very genuine about it. But he never really told me anything about dreams. He just sees it. He goes into maybe like a trance state. But myself, this is just from the dream. And I would tell you lastly about this three-dimensional diagram or model that was constructed that I was like looking into, and it looked like all these nails in a row. They were shiny nails, but the heads were like all lined up, and they were in this like trough, and there was rows and rows of them, and it was arranged in such a way. So I was looking over this, and it was showing how these flame beings would be. Like maybe that's how they just lined up. That's how they built their cities, and they would stand there. Maybe they're like trees. They're not like chaotically mobile the way we are. Because when I look at the city, I don't understand. There's things just popping up all over this grid, like a square pattern grid. That's the way I usually see cities. Typically, that's the design or non-design. And with these creatures, they were in these rows, and I don't know why it showed it as these really tall nails sticking out. They weren't really, I couldn't tell how much they were embedded into there, but the nail was sticking out like, if it was like a regular basic common nail thickness, but it was sticking out like this tall, all in a row. So then it made me think it might be symbolizing the creatures, and that they have a head inside there. Otherwise, why depict it as a nail with a head, a flat head, nails, like a regular nail? So, all this is just making me wonder, because it's very vivid. I remembered it very clearly, and I was, drawing. I was doing as an artist, and this huge thing on this black canvas. So, symbols or maybe information is being handed to me through the subconscious. I don't know. I'm asking for any feedback because we don't know. There are no experts in this. This is a totally new field. It's not even a new field. It's just a completely ignored field. Modern science doesn't even include it. So I think that they are really missing out, because maybe 50% of our information should be coming from dreams if we only knew what it meant. If you have any ideas, if you want to share your dreams, or by all means do a video about your dreams. I'm going to be switching this to another channel, like I said, and I'll put the link down here. That's the channel where I'll do any more talks about dreams. Thanks for listening.